Welcome everyone to the LEC post-game lobby. Lore, what a fantastic interview with Jizuke. Yeah, you know, we got emotional here too watching, and maybe we get a bit more from Attila, who I'm joined by, as well as by Frosk, to wrap up the regular season and preview the playoffs. We heard a lot from Jizuke there. When you stepped onto the podium here, you said that was harder than beating RNG. It was probably half a joke, but what made this match versus SK so difficult?
I mean, I think it's just everything combined. Like, we had third game of the day. We had to wait 4 hours or something to actually play our last game and, you know, like, just see how it goes and prepare everything on the moment. And yeah, like, just this split, we were the roller coaster team, like 0-4 into, oh, we're actually winning again. Then we have some really good games against like really good teams. For example, against Splice, we could have perfectly won and stuff like this. And then we go back into losing, and then we go back into winning again. So, yeah.
Can you take me through some of like those last moments? Because going into this game, no one was on your guys' side. Everyone was betting against you. It felt like it was always about momentum, mental fortitude for Vitality, that when you guys win, you win super hard, but you guys have been kicked down and out. So who is the guy who like pulled it back?
I mean, the coach obviously is the first person that never backs down. Like, he's always there as a role model, like always saying, guys, we live for this moment. Everyone disbelieved us when we started Spring Split, last split, when we went to the World Championship. We were really used, and I think our team is actually pretty decent at performing under really hard situations, like really high pressure situations. And honestly, like, this game, even though nobody believed in us, you don't get what you want, you get what you need, and this league needed us on playoffs. So.
I really love that. It's so crazy because one of my biggest complaints of Vitality was it felt like you and Jack Troll were finally back on form. Jizuke was coming back to form. Kabashard has always been solid, and Mowgli was starting to play more through the bottom lane and give more attention there. But you guys weren't playing together as a 5-man unit comparatively to the other teams. This game comes in, and every single highlight play, it's finally Vitality moving as a unit, all 5 players being there. Did you feel that difference, or do you want to speak to some of the struggles that you guys have had and why it hasn't quite clicked?
I mean, definitely, I think one of our main issues when you see us losing or just not doing what we have to do is like communication issues, like decisiveness as well. I will say, like, sometimes we just have 3 winning lanes. Molly can do whatever he wants, and we're like, oh, we can push top, we can go mid, we can go bot, and we actually don't decide to actually play through one specific like plan on the game, and then we end up like running like headless chickens, and then we end up like giving one kill there, and enemy somehow always picks full scaling against us, and somehow like we got outscaled, and then we go to team fights, lose one team fight, lost the game.
Sorry, Shox.
No, do your thing.
Whose call was it to rush top lane? I don't know if we have.
In this game?
Yeah, I don't know if we have the replay
Mowgli.
for the.
I think
it was Mowgli's call.
the package,
If I'm not mistaken, it was Mowgli, yeah. Because they just we pushed mid, we go into Baron. Jackdaw has really good flank position, and we're like, okay, they need to come, right? And then they come, but they're not coming at the same time. So we're like, all right, we might as well push top, and while you watch us.
It was weird for us to watch. There it is, because SK, they can do a myriad of things, but they do this.
Can we actually pause it right here? I don't know if we
possible.
have the capabilities. Okay,
Yeah.
so just check out the map. So the thing is that Vitality did get access to the Baron first, and they were playing around the area, but SK Gaming actually started this play in mid lane. And there was this split-second moment where Vitality, as Attila just said, we know SK have to check, but SK could have chosen. We force mid, and we force Vitality to come out of the Baron area, or we take their inhib and trade the Baron for it. We check Baron, possibly we make a team fight, but meanwhile, while this was all happening, this wave that we're playing on right now had started to crash. It was the indecision of SK Gaming to figure out what was going to happen in that moment, and I asked who makes the call, and it's the fact that Mowgli makes the call, which is really interesting to me, guys. The fact that you guys were so decisive when it counted and you showed up when you needed to. Thank you, Observer.
Yeah, Attila, do you concur?
I lost my shit watching this play.
Yeah, for sure. Like in these moments, whoever takes the first decision and just commits to it is, even if it's a bad play, sometimes if you do it as 5, it's gonna be the better play. And this one resulted just being us playing as 5 men and just demolishing them.
And finally, I have to say finally, because you're watching this game and we were kind of down on Vitality, and honestly, I think you can understand us. You went on a 4-game losing streak. SK really came into this weekend and put it all on the Rift and did much better, but this does signal to me that maybe it clicked, but I think that's very difficult to say. But how much do you think you need to work on to have a competitive showing in those playoffs? We'll talk about the specific matchup later.
A lot, that's for sure. Like right now, if we'll face some teams like, I don't know, Fnatic G2, I think we'll just wrap it up and go next, because we have no chance right now against them. But realistically speaking, like when we play good, we actually can do really good against good teams, like, and we show that throughout the regular season. So we just need to be more consistent, work on our communication, decisiveness, and I think next week we're facing Schalke, so it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah, before we look at that, a final question about this. You also just said before you stepped onto the stage, hey, I wanted to get to Worlds. That is the goal. I am not missing out on Worlds. And the fact of the matter was, if you lost this game, it was all over. How do you deal with those kind of thoughts? Because I'm sure they're trying to get into your head when you have to play this game.
Well, it's just, you know, we've come too far, no? Like, we've come too far to just let it all go. Like, if you come and you have one chance and you have to make it, and you just go and take it, you know? Like, normally, it's just like decisiveness in real life. Like, if you have no plan B, if you actually just think, I'm going to make it. Like, week 3, we were 0-4, we win 2 games, and I said, I have no doubts we're going to make playoffs, because that's the team we are. We're not missing one playoffs. We're not. Just, it is what it is. And when you have that goal in mind throughout, like, everything, and even if things goes bad, doesn't matter. Like, you just keep focus and you go for it and grab it.
Yeah, it's paid off for you guys. You are in the playoffs, and after 9 weeks of competition, G2 and Fnatic are locked in Athens, places 1 and 2 respectively, while Splyce, Schalke, Rogue, and Vitality made it to the first round of playoffs. Frosk, what happened here in summer? Origin is not in the playoffs. SK Gaming was in, then isn't. Misfits and Excel, probably not as surprising, but still they couldn't put up enough of a fight. But Rogue, Vitality, Schalke, Splyce, Fnatic, G2.
I mean, the thing is that this was like the 1% chance of happening.
Yes.
When we did the calculations, the fact that we would have to play these tiebreakers, that it would be someone like Rogue and Vitality that overtook the playoff spots was like 1.27%, something minuscule small. We all looked at each other, we guessed, I guess we're having tiebreakers, because we always have an EU. Heartbreak for Origin. I think everyone's going to be scratching their heads about what the hell happened there.
Do you have some insight? Why do you think Origin just dropped the ball?
Let me take notes.
Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. Like, they are just a great team. Like, they showed off really big time on Spring Split. Like, I think people thought they were good, but not as good as reaching finals, and they showed off and honestly shot at a lot of mouths. From my point of view, even my mouth. And this split just, I don't know, they started out pretty decent and they just started losing. So my guess is something internal happened, because like the players still the same, the roster is still the same, the play style is still kind of the same, so nothing changed. So just something went off. Yeah,
from we don't have that information, but the only thing I gathered from like talking to people is that they kind of lost sight of what the objectives were in game, and it must be startling then if you're a team that plays off fundamentals and if you're a team that always plays for the right play, and they just completely lost their heads, and that probably didn't translate too well in an off-drift as well, but we don't know. Very unfortunate for them. We'll see Origin in the regional qualifier, though the gauntlet, that is not over for them. Frost, do you have any final thoughts before we go over to the bracket?
I mean, just congratulations. Like, I think it's nuts that you guys were able to plant your feet and hold your own. Huge shout out to Rogue. I'm actually really excited to see Rogue find their form again at the very end. I'm glad that we got kind of one of our younger teams coming in. If it wasn't going to be Excel or SK, I'm glad that we at least got Rogue in there.
I think Rogue can surprise more people than what they think, actually. I'm not thinking they're a team that can go really far from the playoffs. From my point of view, I just hit the other teams and I say that they'll probably have better preparation, they'll probably have better plan coming into the series, but I think they can do well, and they definitely deserve to be there, honestly.
Yeah, they fully deserve it. Let's take a look of who they're up against in the first round of playoffs. Splyce had the choice between Vitality and Rogue for their matchup, and they picked Rogue. Splice versus Rogue will be the first one, the best of 5. And then match 2, Schalke No Fear versus Vitality. I love it. I love them both. So, yeah.
I've got good news and I've got bad news for Splice. So the good news is since you lost to Fnatic, you don't have to face G2 in the playoffs. The bad news is that you don't get seeded directly into the winners match and you play Rogue instead. So there's a silver lining there. Yeah, and it looks much easier than a best of 5 against G2. Of course, you don't get a second chance.
Maybe for people who've been out of the loop, this is the new playoff format, which we saw for the first time in spring. So how it works is we have Splice versus Rogue and Schalke No Fear versus Vitality in round 1. The winners of each of those matches face each other in round 2. The other match we see is round 2 is the Kings match, as we're going to dub it, between numbers 1 and 2, G2 and Fnatic. The winner of that match between G2 and Fnatic goes straight to the final. The loser goes to the semi-final and plays the winner of the round 2 matchup between Splice Rogue or Schalke Vitality, and that's the T.
It is a soft double elim bracket.
Yes.
It is amazing. It means that you get more chances to see better best of 5s. The fact that G2 and Fnatic best of 5 will happen for sure and it's not our final tells you how stacked this bracket is.
So let's talk about Schalke versus Vitality. I don't know if you noticed, we have someone who helps us behind the scenes in the production. His name is Evan. He loves the Attila versus Upset rivalry.
He does.
And I gotta say, we all bought into it, but it became a bit less hype this year.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it?
So when's the Draven coming out?
What's happening?
I mean, yeah, like I think Schalke, did Schalke make it to playoffs? No, I mean, last split.
Last split.
I was gonna be like,
they didn't. They
mate,
fell out,
I hate
right?
to tell you, but
didn't, no?
Yeah.
Like I think just the teams didn't perform as good as they did last year, and that's why the narrative probably went down and all this stuff. But I guess it's gonna be a nice playoffs match, and I think we definitely have the upper hand. Like they're gonna perma Van Draven because like they have no answer against it, and then I think if something like today doesn't happen, that they've sent 4-man bot lane after Harry Potter goes against the wall, like in the movie, at level 2, right? Like, I think it's going to be...
There's the Attila cockiness we've been waiting for. It took 15 minutes in PGL. How is it that over everything you seem, I want to say, a bit humbled, You're obviously throughout the experience of just making it into playoffs, but when it comes to Schalke, you have that fire. Why is that?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm not going to say we're the best team. I'm realistic. I think I'm a pretty realistic guy. I see facts as they are, but I see Schalke. I see us actually doing really good against them. Like the first game we played against them, we lost. Second as well, but like it happened the same in last year, and they actually took our playoffs off. So I think it's just payback time now.
Yeah, Frosk. I gotta say, Schalke has impressed me decently, I would say, in the last couple of weeks. They seem to be on the same page. Abadar is leveling up. Upset is playing great. Trick is bringing a lot to that team. What do you think?
I mean, Schalke are a team that I think are pretty solid for middle of the pack. I was having a discussion with VODS, and I felt like Schalke were kind of like the benchmark of what good looks like in the LEC, just because they have really clean fundamentals. The issue that I have with Schalke is I feel like sometimes they're very decisive in the actions that they do, but sometimes they pick the wrong play. And against worse teams, which is why when you look at Schalke, pretty much everyone below them in the standings, they consistently beat, and everyone above them in the standings, they pretty much consistently lost to. And I think it's just more playtime together, a bit kind of retooling some of their macro decisions. They're a team that definitely don't play for side lane advantage. Like even when Abba's on things like Akali, they'll often pull him into team fights as opposed to trying to leverage him out into a side lane and look for individual advantages. They don't contest a ton in lane outside of Ignar and Upset, and so I think it's just kind of, again, expanding their playstyle, getting more threats, and then Schalke start to rise up in terms of threats in the LEC.
Yeah, people have been really high about Trick and Ignar and them roaming together, their TP plays as well, Frosk, or actually Attila. They seem to have a bit more in their playbook. They're not afraid to go around the lane, make the plays with the TPs. Is that something that you're afraid of, or is that something you feel like you guys are well equipped to play against?
Yeah, I think Schalke is just a team that it's really easy to read. From my perspective, if you play G2, honestly, you don't think about what they pick. You just say, yeah, we're going to pick this, and then we're just going to see what they pick, because G2, I think sometimes they don't even know what they're gonna play. You know, sometimes they choose.
I think you're right.
Yeah, the rock paper scissors basically. But Schalke, you know what they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna pick, and I think that's a weakness on coming into a best of 5 thing. You can prepare really well into that with 1 week, and then you actually have a lot of footage of them playing because they didn't change anything throughout the whole split. So I think if you just analyze that well, if you play into it, and then you just get your own strats, I think you have a really good shot of beating Schalke.
I mean, you guys have been all over the place, and if you don't even know what you're going to do, how the hell is Schalke going to know what you're going to bring in that
That's their secret.
Super. Frosk.
Yeah.
Is anyone in the round 1 matchups going to be a match in a best of 5 versus G2 or Fnatic?
I'm going to soft say no. I do want to point out, though, that the Splyce versus Fnatic game, super close. I think it came down to small, clutch moments. And to be fair, there were a lot of those clutch moments. So it feels bad. It wasn't just like a single mistake that Splyce made. It was like consistently making those small mistakes. When you get engaged on by Urgot, when you have the Sejuani on your team, something went like horrifically wrong. But I would love to see Splyce get another shot at Fnatic. But with this bracket setup, I assume it will happen, but I also assumed that SK would win, and Attila's sitting next to me, so what the hell do I know?
Attila, how do you realistically see this bracket playing out for you?
The whole bracket?
Yeah, so, obviously you beat Schalke.
We beat Schalke, Splyce beat Rogue. I'd say G2 probably beat Fnatic. Then hopefully we beat Splyce. Gotta get those points for the gauntlet, just in case. Then... yeah, I'm gonna be biased. I think if we're on the roller coaster, we're up on the hill. Maybe, just maybe, I think we have a chance against Fnatic. Right now, we stand no chance whatsoever. Right now, G2 Fnatic are too much for us, and then I think G2 is gonna win.
Okay.
But you know, if we make it to the finals, it's gonna be way too long road to just lose in the finals. So.
What is G2 doing to everyone behind scenes that every single team is like, yeah, I can take on Fnatic, I can take on Splyce. G2, they're probably gonna win.
Don't even ask.
I mean, it's just a team that has everything kind of, right? They have good players, they have really good macro, and then they just improvise a lot. So that can take you off on a best of 5, but I don't think anyone is unbeatable. I've seen RNG losing against G2 at the Worlds last year. So.
I saw RNG losing against Vitality.
What do you mean? Of course they lost. They left Draven open. They don't watch Europe.
That's what I'm saying. Has it changed Vitality? Like, do you think it's changed you as a player to see G2 rise up and to play their style? Like, have you asked Yamato, like, let me do this champion, let me lead this? Or are you guys still trying to funnel into like, this is how League of Legends is played, this is what you need to focus on?
I mean, we don't believe that the game has like this script and then you have to play by the script. You can be really innovator. Like last year we played Ziggs bot lane when everyone was playing really random stuff and I was taking towers at 5 minutes and it was against Splyce. That's why they didn't choose us. And I think like choose at Worlds, everyone just started realizing Europe has a really good potential, and this just showing like European teams actually have a really good shot at showing off in internationally wise. And G2 right now, they are beasts, but I think every beast can be
tamed.
Yeah.
Okay, perhaps we'll see. Whoa, you just got me even more hyped for the playoffs.
I mean, I'm never gonna say my team is gonna lose against my team, right?
No, of course.
Otherwise, why do I even go to play? Like,
I agree with you. So this is the playoff bracket. That best of 5 between Fnatic and G2 will be played on Saturday in 2 weeks, the 31st of August. I want to say, okay, I'm already looking forward to that, but I am super hyped for the other best of 5s as well. And playoffs is such a different beast. And I think what we've learned throughout the years is that sometimes teams change completely within that 1 week and within kind of the scope of a best of 5. Frosk, if you had to make a prediction for one team that will look completely different, be it better or worse, come best of 5s, who would it be?
I think it's Fnatic. I think a lot of people will grab towards Splyce just because you give Splyce preparation. They show how important their coaching staff is and how they can revitalize. Unfortunately, I think that the blocker on Splyce right now is confidence. And until that gets fine-tuned, and maybe that's the thing that unleashes them and we see like a completely new Splyce in a best of 5. But I almost feel that we've seen the cap on Splice. It's still exceptionally high, much higher than people thought it was, but we're still waiting for them to break through that ceiling. Everyone seems terrified of Fnatic. You talk to all of the teams, and they still say, we just don't want to face Fnatic in a best of 5. If anyone can do it, it's Fnatic. And so I'm excited. I'm now buying into this hype. I want to see how close Fnatic are to G2, and if G2 are just like head and shoulders above everyone, or Fnatic can scratch the beast.
Yeah, I think you won't blame us for, you know, thinking about
definitely
that matchup.
Starting on the playoffs, starting on playoffs, I said G2 Fnatic. I don't want to face next week. If I had to choose, like, I wouldn't face those teams, and yeah, they're still choose G2 Fnatic.
Oh, we'll see how it all plays out. It starts next week. Can it please be tomorrow? No, it can't. We're almost going to sign off at a couple of more things. First up, the Kia Player of the Game leaderboard. Reckless finished the regular season in first. Come from behind win, followed by Jankos and Broxa, because I believe Broxa and Jankos were in the first places for most of the season, and somehow Reckless pulls out the marksman in the last week and snags it, Frosk. Why is it, how does it work? More percentage votes, I guess.
Is this why we didn't have Nemesis in that last one? So we could give Reckless his behind. The script has been revealed.
So
We're like, Reckless must win.
Him over the edge, and I believe
so we didn't give you the option. We're like, vote for Janna or don't vote at all.
And if it's tied, I guess he got more percentage votes then, or more percentage of the votes than normal. I'm sure that will get confirmed to me.
The issue is that everyone on G2 just cannibalizes each other's player of the game, so that feels bad, man.
Where's the Vitality players?
I mean, we didn't have as many wins as they did, right?
Otherwise, it would have been
but yeah,
easy.
Really balanced.
Really balanced.
Yeah, Bella Jungle wins, no? Trick, Broxa, Jankos.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere there are some more jungles.
Shout out to Humanoid as well. But yeah, Reckless, congratulations. Kia Player of the Game of the regular season. Well done. And as we close out week 9, we're also going to get another look at the best moments from the Rift in our Alienware Big Plays. First, it's him again. Reckless was finally unleashed on a carry in our match of the week as he showed everyone that he still has that killer instinct.
Fnatic have their bread and butter in situations like this. Splice, where is your bravery now?
Splice is split up, Nemesis coming in to join it. Look at the bottom side of the fight. Reckless almost takes down Humanoid well in the end.
We can go on Jupin now.
It's a bit in fight, isn't it?
You think so? I'm coming around.
I'm looking for Corky here. Looking for Corky.
You're alone, Reckless.
Yeah, I'm not, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm here.
Look. I'm chunking to journey.
Corby jumps in, takes out Broxa. Whippo's gonna fall as well. TP coming in, it's Nemesis joining the fight, but Splice might look for it. Nemesis maybe TP'd into his demise. Corby's gonna open up. Oh, Nemesis! Nemesis steps up once again, goes golden. Reckless here to help out his mid lane, and not scared with the stun lock. Corby gets another, but Reckless will answer it. 4 for 4 as Reckless continues in his AD carry versus AD carry, and Corby is feeling himself, but Reckless says not today!
He knows where I am.
Marco's on you. Nice, he's winning this. He's winning.
Yeah. I didn't get Mark. Did you have Mark somehow?
No, he doesn't know. My bad, I misplayed. Bezonia. You can top maybe? Oh.
Nice. You got top.
To the end?
I don't know if you can end, but you can go.
I mean, maybe take 2 hits?
So like the stars aligned, because you have these beats and casts where you find them as like narrative beats, where you do your analysis like, okay, I gotta jam the narrative in there. And we saw that fight setting up and we're like, okay, this is gonna be it. It's about clutch moments, it's about X Factor, it's about big moment plays. And then Reckless pops off and does that. It was like one of those moments where all 3 casters look at each other, we're like, yes, thank you, Reckless, for doing exactly what we said was going to happen.
And so that's probably the kind of play that you like to see, right? They just diving in, flashing in under tower just to finish off the enemy AD carry.
Yeah, like
good stuff.
Killer instinct is to go in. You never go down.
No, you never go out. Good stuff. Secondly, Rogue's win versus Origin secured playoffs for them in the end with some help from Larson and his Sand Soldiers.
Minty is already roamed up towards topside alongside Manda.
Oh, Afari going in, pulled back. Will use the Cold Meat to get some health back, and Minty pops the ult, trying to catch out Finn. The Dredge line will connect in the end. Vanda coming in with the charm. First blood goes to Archer, but they're bounced in a bounce house. Back and forth. Rogue take 2. Finn off towards the top side as Patrick flashes away. Minty gonna lock him up in place for the moment as Patrick just trying to dodge to the back of this, but the package comes in. Warlight can't quite land the long-range cannons, but he will get one. Larson takes the kill. Finn still on the chase. Newjack trying to trade in, but here comes Cold. And Origin re-engage the fight, but they are shuffled to pieces. Triple kill to Warlight. Make it 4. Rogue find a perfect fight.
Kai'Sa has nothing.
Guys, I'm not hey, look at as well.
No flash.
I have ult and flash.
I can't shake.
Go Silas, guys. Hey, look.
Boom!
Oh my god.
Larsen,
Larsen, you're holding this Azir. Okay, I will never question your Azir. I'm really sorry for this.
Yeah, that's fine, guys. Okay, we still have to reset for Herald, by the way.
Onwards. I loved it. Who says Azir is boring? Look at that.
Well, when you get spoon-fed and you're like Azir Corki and suddenly you're like, what, 2-0 at 5 minutes in that game or something?
That game was over really fast.
Yeah, it was. Corki came in. Well, Larsen and Rogue, good on them. They're in the playoffs. But in our tiebreaker game, Vitality secured playoffs with a massive team fight. Let's take another look.
They're trying to find this flank. They're trying to get Crownshot and Genex into this team fight. Jack Troll underneath.
Prowling projectiles, not going to find anybody. Jack Troll's the target for now. He gets a two-man knockup, but Sacre's coming in from the backside. Crownshot forced to flash defensively in 6-1. The ultimate goes wide. Doesn't stun anybody. Genex looking for Jack Troll.
He's down!
He's dead! Vitality punish SK!
Jack Troll is smashing his desk right now. Vitality just wiped SK near their base.
Look. You remember we were fighting? Alista, go on Sivir. Stay together. Keep fighting. Go on Akalia.
Flash.
Go on Sejuani. I got Sejuani stand here. I got Sivir.
We can finish.
Guys,
Wait.
He pulverized in life.
Yeah.
That was fun.
You didn't say a lot, actually.
Yeah, like we're just, screaming at the end. That's our thing. We set targets and then we're like, oh, we won. Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's us.
Or when you're playing for subset, you get up and you gesture towards.
I mean, if he talks too much, you gotta learn to respect.
Okay. I'm just fanning the flames here to get some more fighting words out before Vitality plays Schalke next week. But for now, though, that will be all from us here in the regular season. It flew by, and we have to thank you all at home for watching us, putting up with us, laughing at our jokes, watching our games, and we're going to give you much more to laugh and have fun with. That is next week. The playoffs start in the LEC with Attila, with Schalke, with Splice, with Rogue, with Fnatic and G2, but that's a week later. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for us, so much information. Thank you, Attila.
I love you.
I love you too. And we love you all at home. Bye. See you for the playoffs.
Listing the team.
I was like, am I forgetting one?
Every single game has standings implications here, but the three most important ones are Origin versus SK, Schalke versus Vitality, and Fnatic versus Rogue.
Kire has the flash, can't go over the wall, but meanwhile the fight is breaking out. Leader in the midst of everything, he's going to get taken down. The wall might not be enough. He's now trying to back behind it. He is still alive. The Yasuo gets the knock up again. The fight continues, and Misfits are absolutely dominating. Cobbin still alive on the backside. Might be enough, but not in the face of Jax. Toll trying to find it. Mithy now moving into the backside, but for now, Crownshot has been kept alive. The Bar's now trying to turn apart, doing what he can, but it is not the AP. It's Genex on the flank. Maybe this is his time to shine. The lockup will not come through. Crownshot still alive. The double kill. The Bar is simply too strong. And he's go! Cole has got the fight kicked off, but Jax is into the back line. Instantly, the Rumble ult is there too. And SK are starting to tear through Origin, but Alfari unwavering on the front line. It will not be enough. Crownshot does the damage. The double kill coming in, and this is it. It is a slaughter in the river.
This was a great pick coming out from Schalke. Ooh, great stun from Abadage.
Oh, look at that. Killer instinct plus Abadage's perfect execution. Throws out the 5-point strike. Shizuka is going to be the next target, and this is just an easy rundown. Dracos and Froskurin have lost a bit on Euphoria, and now they have to cosplay as the lovers duo. Because with any luck, we'll have a little more fun with Fnatic and Rogue as well. Here comes the all-in engage from G2. Wonders on a killing spree. Brazilian ultimate will buy some time, but simply not enough. Baron's going low. There's the engage. The barrel.
They got it.
The Baron's secured. A kill onto Mickey. Mickey X manages to chase even further.
Interesting bans now. TS, Maokai, TSM, I don't know. What are we trying to ban here?
But Nemesis just about stays alive. Chrono Break will be used. Brings it back to life. Howling Gale from Reckless won't find a target, but Nemesis, with the help of Monsoon, will get caught out by that last breath, and it simply doesn't matter.
And Larsen bleeds out on the side.
That Twitch was...
It was goosebumps, actually.
Jackson goes all the way forward. Gen X escapes with his life. For now, Crown Shot is golden back to the outlaws, but it's going to get taken down. The stopwatch couldn't keep him alive long enough. The prowling projectile gets one. Sakura gets another. This is such a crazy fight in the jungle. Prowling projectile's not going to find anybody. Jackson's the target for now. He gets a two-man knockup, but Sakura's coming in from the backside. Crown Shot forced to flash defensively in 6-1. The ultimate goes wide. Doesn't stun anybody. Gen X looking for Jackson. He's down! He's down! Vitality make it to the postseason!